Okay, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm going to play our little intro so people can come in and I can share to the network. We'll be back in about a minute and a half. How's it going, everybody? Let me just finish up what I was doing. I'm running behind. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we got our beloved sister Allison's on with us today. So let me just pull her up. Last time she came on, we had one of the biggest YouTube shows we've ever had. We got 5 people in here from YouTube and about 35 on Facebook on the different pages and a few people here in the Zoom room. So let's get her up here and see what's going on with her. She's very connected, and I'll just let her speak for herself when she gets up. Okay, here we go. Let me just get her up here. All right. What's going on, beloved sister? What's happening in your end of the world on the front line of the apocalypse?
It's tickety-boo at the moment for me. Tickety-boo. Very busy, though. Very busy.
Isn't it? Busy, busy in the conscious awakening moments, awake moments, and then I think it's been very busy in dream state and dimension. And I'm sure it has for you, but I can tell over the last 10 days or so, it's been very busy the last 10 days or so.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of grid work, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I'm based in UK.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of what's been happening has been put out from there, which we know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been working, obviously, last month we were realigning timelines, obviously, readjusting hijack timelines. So there's a lot of work going on there, actually. It's interesting because the storylines are changing now because they realize what's been happening planetary wise. I mean, the thing is, what you got to remember is the frequencies are coming in, the ancient stargates have been activated, there's very high frequencies on the grid. So therefore, these types of beings, cannot cope with high frequencies. So therefore, all I'm going to say is the grids are getting too hot.
The grids are getting too hot.
Yeah. So they're having to rethink everything now. And that's all I'm going to say on this now, actually, because we've been doing a lot of work here. Obviously, with the hologram that they've put up, the fear mode hologram that they've put up for everybody. This is obviously affecting a lot of people, a lot of the light workers as well, obviously on the 0 point field, because there's a lot of light workers that are getting roped into the debates on Facebook as well, which is something they need to step away from because it's another form of an energy loose. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. I received a message today, and I'm not saying this,
Mm-hmm.
to give Morgan and I or Sology any credit, but it goes along with what you were saying. We get messages every day, and I want to thank people for that, because sometimes, for all of us, it gets a little difficult to keep going. We think we're crazy and we're ready to go get out of here. But she says, I love how you guys are staying in that neutrality zone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I won't mention who this is because I don't have permission, but I love how you guys are staying in that neutrality zone, own lane, and not veering off to these distractions
Mm-hmm.
of conspiracy theorists.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny, and duality uh, that seems not to be in alignment. Your guests have been incredible lately. Thank you for making that. But I think you bring up a really good point, and it's I think it's another reminder that we're creating this template. We're creating an expanded, I call it the good book or expanded blueprint.
It's what you, yes, what you give your
Yeah,
energy to. I mean, as I
yeah,
say, there has been work done by the Guardian teams, obviously, to work on the timelines. But
yeah.
what people have got to remember is it's a feed, it's a loosh, and people
Yes,
are playing into this. And there's a lot of females, and I'm going to say this, are jumping on this, and they've got to remember that it's an MK and it's a loosh.
yes. Yeah, and I'm glad you said that too. Well, because there's been a lot of talk over the last 4 or 5 years of the feminine's role, and obviously she's the frequency that we're bringing back to the planet. But we're all incarnated. None of us are walking on water yet, and this is a very real deal. We got to remember that every single thing that's going out there is a loosh, is a program, and
Yeah.
even though it might look like there is and I'm not saying that any of these narratives are true or not true, and I'm not
No.
saying that I'm not even having a challenge
Yeah.
trying to stay neutral on some of these things. I'd love to see justice served and all that, but that's part of this narrative. That's
Yeah.
part of
But
this realm. Our
all I'm
focus
going to
is,
say is it is happening, and
yeah,
things have been intervened because of what other people have done and experienced to stop what was supposed to happen. Yeah, because of
yeah,
the grid work that's been happening.
yeah,
And this is the only way that they've had to just work with the surface population. And it's been a
yeah,
difficult one. But what they step forward, we're gaining, it is, the planet will ascend. Yeah. But there's a lot
absolutely.
of people ranting and raving out there, and they're just misleading a lot of the star seeds at the
Yeah,
moment, which
yeah,
is they've, everybody is responsible for their own spiritual evolution, and
true.
it's up to them to do the work. You can do your homework, but obviously you've got to do the maths. I mean, with this thing they've tried to do, don't you think that they're going to do some mass meditation because they know the light community are going to come on board with this? And this is what's happened when this event happened. There's been major looshing, on mass meditations, and I mean, as Guardians teams, we've had to go out there
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
protect
You bring
the
up,
star seeds, because what they're doing is they're taking them into false grids where they're looshing, and they're bringing them into the lower astrals. There's
yeah.
still a lot of distortion out there, and it has to be corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, this is a full-time, moment by moment, conscious concentration, to thine own self be true, stay in your own lane. I mean, I think we've really got to be, uh, you know,
Mm.
vigilant in being aware and conscious and honest about what charge are we carrying as
Mm-hmm.
things are presented to us throughout the day, because it may look like it's a knight on a white horse, but in fact it is, if it's taken us to a point that is making us a charge of too positive or too negative, we're not maintaining that middle ground, and that's really where our natural nature is, and where what this realm
Mm-hmm.
needs to stay
Yeah.
neutral.
Mm.
But that's
That's
not
correct.
always easy. Yeah,
Well, it's the God matrix, isn't it? I mean, this is an area we've been working with the Trinity Cosmos. This is the work that, we've been working with the three folders, Founders Flame. We brought the Mother Art frequencies, the Father Art, and the Christy Child, yeah, to
yes,
create a prism to access the multidimensionality. This is the work that has been done through the Guardian teams
Yeah.
to assist the surface population.
And I think on a positive note, or it seems like, you know, for certainly this month, maybe the last 10 days, um, there does, at least in my field and people that I seem to be talking to and observing, there are people accessing their memories and their multidimensionality and their skills and their abilities. So whatever you said about stargates and whatever you said about the,
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
this is what the work that I've been doing for 3 years now. And if you look back on my posts, I write about these beings, but these are the teams that I work with. I mean, when I work with the Dome of Cosmos, I mean, I'm now working with Crystal Star, the Aurora platforms and the Creator Gods, but the grids are right, but there is still a lot of distortion, i.e. if you are following an individual who's taking you into a false matrix, into a false grid, you're still playing into that old storyline. And this is where you've got to be very careful, because the new age, and obviously Facebook, as I said before, it's a target for these people.
Sure.
I mean, I've looked at other people's work and I've actually had to go in and unplug people from the lower astrals, and that energy has come to stop me from doing this. There's still a lot of distortion out there with the star seeds. And it's because at the end of the day, it's about harvesting souls at the end of the day.
And I think we got to remember too that, you know, this is a grand design and there's a tremendous amount of multiplicity to the false matrix, the programs, and this, you know, we can simplify it and drill it down, but when I look at what you're talking about, I look at the subject matter. I also look at the egoic frequency, and I don't believe ego is a bad word, but I just mean it's kind of like a red flag. It's kind of like a, kind of like a reminder. And one of the things I've noticed too, and I'm not taking myself apart from anybody because I have to stay on top of myself every day, but there are people that have been out there for quite some time and have done great work for us, for all of us, you know, not only just disclosure wise, but also personal growth wise, bringing in sacred wisdom and information. But even some of these folks are what I'm looking at is they're kind of falling into the egoic, kind of like getting pulled into that false matrix and the polarity.
This is what happens, with people, Well, it depends, as I say, who they're working with, you know, what grids are they working and what are their teachings, you know, because, you know, and these entities and these people that have been on the planet now, they have groups. I mean, there's a lot of people out there doing massive groups and they're doing so much damage. Like they're putting feeds on these star seeds, and they're being, you know, that they're in the lower astrals. You know what, it's sacrament what's been going on.
And you know, there is so much stuff out there, and it is kind of complex, and there's a lot of information, and certainly we're all coming out of the same conditioning, so there's always going to be this challenge with doubts and discernment and so on. But I want to ask you, just to keep it simple, is there anything for someone who feels overwhelmed, who's just waking up, who's, you know, going back and forth from 0 point, is there anything that we can do beyond in our own conscious awareness to stay neutral and stay and work to stay in that 0 point and not pick up a charge going either side of the 0 point? Is there anything that the human aspect can focus on?
Stay away from the gadgets for starters. That's important, but it's very important to be around nature. And even though they're putting out these things, the consciousness of the planet is spiking, but it's what's coming in and coming in the grids. Nature is really assisting at the moment. The trees are really amazing at the moment. They're carrying codes, and I just want people just to be around nature and just to be grounded.
No, that's I can validate that. Of course, the trees
Yeah.
were the first thing that came in for me 9 years ago. But
Mm.
last night, when we connected last night, we've been having extraordinary communions and connections over the last, we always do, but I mean, over the last 10 days, it's really, really ramped up. But last night,
Mm.
it was really interesting because I usually keep my eyes open, and I did again last night, and the ceiling disappeared, which is not unusual.
Mm.
The cosmos appeared where the ceiling would be, and that's not unusual. But what was remarkable last night is I heard this universal tone, and I saw the trees. The
Yeah.
trees were there. They were holding, and they were telling me that we've been anchoring
Yeah.
all along, and that they are a viable network, an important
Hmm.
network that we can actually inject, inject our uploads, or whatever you want to call it, our
Yeah.
heartfelt
Yeah.
expressions through their
That was,
network,
yeah.
and it will work.
Yeah, because we was work done, I think about a year and a half ago, and all the trees are all connected root wise all around the
Yeah,
planet. Yeah,
yeah,
because what had happened is, and I'm going to say the other side, the way they were doing the trees, especially on these like government buildings and estates and that, they were lining the trees up. So
yeah.
that in itself is an entrapment for the trees. Yeah, there's been a lot of work done with the trees now. And
Yeah.
maybe you'll meet the green man soon. He's actually amazing, the green man. If you're working with the trees,
That's
beautiful.
really strange because I did meet one,
Yeah,
but it was a
see?
while back. And
Yeah, the green man.
actually,
He's lovely. He's beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
the funny thing is I don't know how this all works in the but it was like I didn't know if I was talking to myself because the face and the energy of the face looked like me, but
Hmm.
he was the green man, and I recognized him. I wanted to ask you too. I saw a quote this morning, and it was by Manly P. Hall, who a lot of people know, and he said, I think he was referring to the Greeks or one of the ancient civilizations, and he said, um, some men, the stars rule their life, and some men rule the stars with their
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
In other
yeah, yeah.
words,
That's exactly it.
and I started thinking about it because we've had quite a few people talk about the astrology aspect, and I thought, well, is that just kind of a guide? It shouldn't be running our lives. We have
No,
the
but
power, right?
yeah, but we have what we have here within the heart, within you, your toric field is the universe. And this is how you've got to work with accessing all these portals and stargates.
Mm,
But it's the same as above. And this is what has been happening with the stargates above. This is how I'm going to call them the controls. This is how they've controlled the surface population. And
this,
and another thing that what people have got to be aware about is a lot of these grids, like the serpent grids, yeah, that especially in India, where what they do is they build a temple on, and the people go and they're looshing this energy. People have
yeah.
got to be very aware of the grids at the moment, yeah, of
So
what they're
probably,
giving their energy to, like the black hubs, because we've been doing work, we've been changing the biofrequency to Trinity wave with to bring in the high frequencies, the crystal hearts to the planet.
yeah. And so I would imagine there's no, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea for people to remember what you just said. And
Mm,
if we're going to do any type of rituals,
yeah,
prayer,
yeah,
meditation, we probably want to do it in nature and not in any
exactly.
pre-existing building constructed by
No,
man, just to be safe.
no, because this is it. This is what's in happening. I mean, it's like a lot of these places. This is what they use for
Mm,
looshing,
yeah,
that spiritual energy,
mm,
and a lot of it is, and I'm going to say, is being controlled by organisations like the CIA, people like
yeah,
that, and this is
yeah.
what people have got to be aware of, and as I say, like these platforms, you've got to be really, really careful.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so what would you say to, because there's a lot of people, there's kind of a ramping up of
Mm,
this information in regard to disclosure. It's starting to get, I mean, you're seeing, I won't name any names, but you're seeing more and more people talking about it. And I think this is what you were talking about at the top of the show. It is somewhat alluring. It does have
ah, yeah,
a characteristic of pulling people in. How
yeah,
would
but a
you
lot of these,
suggest? Yeah. How would you
So
suggest people to,
the
what would you
thing is,
suggest to people?
what I'm going to say is a lot of these UFO groups, yeah,
Hmm.
are controlled by government now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what I tend to do, what I'm going to do now is later on after we've talked, I'm going to mention things and I'm going to take you in high frequency and I want you to look at the frequency, how it sits with you. This is how I teach my clients to do this.
Mm.
There's a, and this is what's been happening. As I say, I mean, there was a guy, he took a massive, massive meditation group. We had to go in and we had to, it's a lot of it is government backed, and you've got to be really, really careful
Yeah.
what's going on, because they know that the light community are going to jump on board on it. And what more, I mean, they've been looshing spiritual energy for eons now.
Of course. Of course they have. And all you have to do is look at the churches and the different religious institutions, but
The new age and the new age movement. I
yeah,
mean,
in the
there's a
new
lot
age.
of people that
Yeah.
are deliberately know what they're doing to clients. I mean, the
Yeah.
picture I used for you on, that we sent with this post, that was me working in Alexandria,
Mm.
actually, with the gates in Alexandria, actually. Yeah. I changed that into a crystal heart.
Yeah.
There's so much people are unaware of what is actually happening on the grids, because places like London, the major cities, they're built like batteries to loosh that life force.
Yeah.
And when I did work in Hungary, which was amazing because I had John with me and he was watching the work that we were doing, we were changing them into crystal star, and you could actually automatically see the spiritual life force of the beings are in that area, of the individuals in the area, making it a safe zone. And it was beautiful. And
Yeah.
this is what people are so unaware of this looshing that's going on with their spiritual bodies.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the individual's ability to influence in a positive way the unfoldment of things.
Yeah.
It,
Just be in your heart,
yeah.
high consciousness around nature, and you don't need to do group meditation because you should be vibrating at high frequency. You should
Yeah.
be in your heart, you should be in 0 point, and you're holding that for the consciousness, for the planet. That is very important for people.
I totally agree with that. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm just going to say, if we're doing any type of gathering for monetary purposes, that's not the right frequency. If we're doing any type of gathering to serve ourself, and I know that sounds harsh, but these are old patterns that we got to give up. Where I was going with this is what you're saying, and that is the individual can influence what's occurring in an immediate way. And my question to you is, would it be beneficial, or would it be something not to do, or something in between, for individuals to make a concerted effort to
Be the
connect
best, to
with,
be best possible you can be every
yeah,
day. That's what you should, when you get up, to be.
yeah,
That's enough, to
yeah,
be that and to be in your heart. Yeah.
yeah. So an individual doesn't have to connect to their soul tribe in the ethers, or their monad, or their star family. They can just get
No.
up.
Yeah, we can do that on a daily basis. I mean, obviously, when you start learning to do that, that's a different thing. When somebody's teaching you this, I mean, I work with the cathode grids, and I work with the universal tree of life, the 12, and I work with the crystal star. But on an individual basis, everybody, like, you see, it's like Facebook. Somebody puts a post out and somebody's got to like it, and
Yeah,
it's just an energy take.
yeah,
And people have just got to be so aware of what they're giving their energy to. I mean, and this whole thing, going back to this thing that's happened, that was taking you away from the 0 point, from the God field. Exactly,
yeah, yeah. So it's an interesting twist to it, because like, for instance, and I'm just speaking to me because I can speak about my own experience. So I know there's a certain mission that I have. This connection has been going on for 9 years, and I totally get what you're saying, because I've been told many times. In fact, I just had this discussion over the last few days with Morgan, is to, when we're moved and your whole body and your field feels that you're supposed to convey something, you just put it out and you move on. There's no attention given to likes or comments. And another thing I see too, and this has all been an evolution for me, and I'm just using me as an example, but I don't answer comments anymore, because the minute
No.
I start to answer comments, I start to
Yeah.
get pulled into
Yeah. I know.
that loop that you're talking about. Yeah.
Mm,
So it's important for us to listen to what our guidance is, as we all carry a piece of this puzzle, but at the same time, not to try to measure it by the matrix, the false matrix
mm.
measurements, or 3D measurements, however you want to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the teachings of, like, the Metatronic cube, which are totally wrong. It's an inverted system, and the
Hmm.
Fibonacci system, which is, it's a system where creation is going in on itself, which is not correct.
Hmm.
It's crystal star, because creation is always evolving. It's going out, it's expanding.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so much, yeah, what has been going on. Yeah.
Well, I think the premise of moving forward with continuing to question every single thing,
Mm,
never other than your own divinity and your connection to divinity, because we know that when we're connected in those times that we know what that is. There's nothing can alter that, but
mm,
to continue to question the things that we followed, and to understand that some of the things that we followed served us to a certain point, but they don't serve us anymore,
no.
because we have gained awareness. uh,
Because
yeah.
it's when you expand and you're going into this heart, you can look at it at high frequency.
Yeah.
And anything that's tinny, solar plexus, it's tampered light. And this is
Anything
what I do.
anything what now, say that again?
Is tampered, is
Oh
either
yeah.
an MK or an inverted feed. Yeah.
And you say that goes into the solar plexus?
Yeah, solar plexus. Yeah, it's very heavy. It's
Okay.
very, it's when you're expanded in your heart and you're working with your field, you're expanded, you can look at it. And this
Yeah.
is what I say to when I work with my clients. I mean, big names they've paid a lot of money for to go, and we've looked at it, and I said, does it feel right? But because star seeds, have been hoodwinked for eons now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there does seem to be, I know I can say that in our case, and I'm sure many cases around the world, there does seem to be a stronger presence of the teams that assist us. The communication seems to be getting stronger.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because
yeah.
yeah, the grids are open now, and like, whereas there's been like phantom matrices, and the grids and have all been opening up now
Yeah.
with the work that the Universal Holographic Repair have done. Like the Christos mission has been completed,
Yeah.
the Amenti Robe, the Paladoran Covenant. There's a lot of so now the portals here, the gates, so it's accessible. Yeah, but it is up to the individual to do the work.
Yes.
They're not going to treat us like invalids, which a lot of people think, they're going to come to save us, you
No,
know,
we're gods.
yeah.
We're goddesses.
No,
We
but
don't need to. Yeah.
we
I
are.
mean,
Obviously, everybody's here for a different reason and a different
absolutely. Yeah.
state of their evolution. Yeah.
No, I get what
But,
you're saying.
yeah,
It do
it's
you,
like the codes are coming. We're all going to ascend. I mean, how
yeah.
many storylines went out, and
Yeah.
just distortion
Yeah.
of these
Yeah.
people to these star seeds. And that, of course, they're taking their eye off the boy. And it's like when people are doing a lot of these so-called activations, I mean, they've got to remember that these codes and your DNA is treasure to you've got to be, it's like in a sacred union. There's so many couples out there that think they're in the correct partnership, but they're losing their
Yes.
energy.
Yeah.
And that's your DNA, with that energy.
Yeah.
And people are just,
I
it's
agree.
not, yeah.
It's a good time to be very, very cautious and careful about what you
Mm,
say and do and even think.
mm,
To really and I do. I mean, for instance, I had something occur 2-3 days ago, and it was very much an illuminating interaction. But I still walked away, and I had to. And I'm not saying this is right for everybody, but I still have to say, what do you think? It still could be this. It still could be
mm,
that. I mean, I have to stay open to the possibility, because, like you said, this stuff has been going on for millennia,
mm,
and to have information long before the masses have had it, why would that change now?
mm.
Why would that ability to for them, why would that go away? I mean, so But I think we're waking up pretty fast, and I think we've done a pretty good job collectively, but we got to keep working at it, don't we?
Mm. But obviously information is being brought forward now because of the work that they've done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about the grids now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm talking about, the cosmic Christ, the frequency, the mother art frequencies, they're all accessible now,
Yeah. Yes.
with the
Yes.
correct teaching on the planet, which have been kept away for eons now.
I got a pretty big download this morning, which I've gotten before, that involves some of the planetary bodies, particularly Orion, Sirius, A, B, and C, Aldebaran, which is the Taurus constellation, and of course Pleiades. Do you think that there's a purpose and some meaning to myself and others who are receiving kind of this information
Yeah,
of maybe?
Aldebaran. Yeah, I mean, I've worked with that star. I worked with the Pleiades, obviously.
Yeah.
We've worked with opening up the stargates now, any now through the Pleiades. Yeah. We've worked with the ionic pairings, but anything with Orion, I'd stand back from. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
My voice is changing now. You can feel
Yeah.
that energy now.
Yes.
We're going to look at this now. We're going to look at this information that you receive now. Yeah, they're coming in now. Obviously, there's a reason why you had to tell me that now. Yeah, because Orion is obviously the star constellation that all the pyramids were aligned to. Yeah, which was a distortion, which is draconian, which is the Belial group. Yeah, because they use the pyramids to lose the energy. Yeah. We've tilted now. The Christos mission has been completed now. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to open up these stargates again, yeah, to take you into false stargates, yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into this energy now.
Yes.
You can feel my energy now coming through now, can't you now?
Yes.
I'm going to work with this energy now that you had a download from now, yeah. My voice is changing now. Can you feel that in your solar plexus now?
Yes.
I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it through now. I knew I was going to have to do this. We're going to release this now, yeah, because this was not the correct information that what you received, Todd. Now you got to trust me now to work with this now, yeah. Just releasing that now. Can you feel that coming up through your solar plexus now? Yeah, it's quite heavy, this energy now. Just working around your temples now. Just feel this expansion in your higher heart now. I've shifted your frequency now. And I want you to go in and look at this message that you received earlier in this frequency. You see how it sits in your solar? Yeah, I'm just releasing that now, yeah. I'm just going to bring it up through your heart now, okay?
My ears are ringing.
Yeah, I'm shifting now, okay? Let's just shift this now, okay? Just go into your heart now. Expand into your heart now. It's interesting because that energy knew I was coming. We'll discuss this later anyway. I'm just working with this now. Just shifting this now. It's going into your heart now. I'm working around your back now. It's getting that shifting now. You see how lighter you feel now. I'm just removing that all away from you now. Just shifting that away now. want you to go back into your heart now. Just expand now. Just feel the love now that's coming in for you now. It's just moving all around your heart now. Just feeling that shift now in your shoulders now. That's the difference. This is what I spoke about earlier. I'm bringing in all the energies now that I feel I have to do now, yeah. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these frequencies out to whoever's listening now. Just working with a lot, releasing a lot of holographic feeds off a lot of people at the moment now. Just clearing that off a lot of you now. Let's go back all into your higher hearts now. Feel this expansion in your higher hearts now. Just working around your back now. It's working with your wings now. Just feel that expansion now. What I'm going to do now, and I did it in a group yesterday, which was absolutely amazing, but they're telling me that I need to do this now. I'm going to go into everybody who's watching. I'm going to go into your bones now. I'm going to work with your bones now, because all your storylines and your DNA, everything's stored in your bones now. And because you've been here and on many other planets, you've had distortion in you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and clear that distortion. Just feeling that energy go through your bones now, because I'm working with your 12 tribe, your 12 inscripted body now. I'm working with everybody's divine new inscripted bodies now. Feel like you're having wind blown through your bones now. I'm just clearing away that storyline, that distortion now. A lot of you will be feeling quite sicky at the moment because you're releasing this now. I want you to release this now. Just go back into your hearts now, everybody now. Feel that expansion now. Go back into your bodies now. Feel your bodies, how they feel. They feel lighter. Just feel this love that's coming in now. Working with the Doma Cosmos now, working with Creator. I'm working with I am the Goddess Sophia. The Sophic wisdom was anchored on the planet a year ago. We've got the planet. I've got the planet back now. Open your heart now. I'm just sending you my love now. Just feel and embrace that love. It's coming to wipe your tears now. want to do now is I want us to all put our hearts together to send out to the little children and the babies that have got involved in this hijacking of the timeline, of what they've had to see and had to go through by not being allowed the freedom of playing on a park. I want us to send our hearts, our love out now to all the little children now that have had to witness this in their timelines. I want us to bring love and joy back into the timelines of these children. Holding together the family unit. The mother art, the father art, and the Christed child. All these beautiful star seeds, these crystal star children that have come in. These are the true blue rails here that have come on the planet. I did a major activation, I think it was last month, on an autism site. Yeah. All these children are so beautiful. Let's embrace them with our love now, bringing in the goddess of it, bringing in the divine feminine and the love of the creator. See all this energy now going all across Tara now. Just feeling this wave of energy now going across the planet. See, it's clearing away. I want you all now to connect through your heart to Tara and Adonai now to the planet. She's thanking you for the work that we've just done. Your whole bodies are tingling now as your DNA is remembering it's connecting to these frequencies. This is how you know when something's organic. Your DNA will react as it's remembering. Because this is what I do, is I go back into timelines, cash, working through the Amenti halls, anchoring the truths in this reality. Because we can't build a new platform on inorganic truths. So everything has to be cleared. The founder's consciousness has been anchored. Many thrones have been anchored in this reality. That's why all the gates are open now, but it's up to the individual. You've got to be very vigilant of what you're giving your energy to. Don't jump on these mass groups, 1111 and all this, because 1111, if you go back and do your homework, it was on the back of the individual that was coronating the queen. So that just tells you who's been in control of that grid. I don't want to drop the frequency now. This is the Bilil grid. We've worked with clearing, like the Archangel Michael. I work with the House of Michael. I work with Lord Michael. We've cleared that distortion. But they're still playing around with MK, with a lot of the light workers now on the grid, yeah. It's all through the heart. Everything's through the toric field of the heart, through the expansion to access your multidimensionality, expanding in consciousness. I mean, with what I'm working with now, I meld consciously with these beautiful. It's been my team. I know why I'm here. And when I went to Egypt recently, and I worked with the Rosetta Stone. Lots of work's been done. We're working with the Rakosi grids in Eastern Europe. And that's another thing with the restrictions now. Obviously, they're trying to, but they don't realize that people can do their work without physically being.
True.
Yeah. Wow, big shift. There's so much love coming in for you now, Tara. I want you to open your heart now. It's gratitude. You got to remember the cosmos works around you, not the other way around.
That's right.
Whoa. Just going to bring you all back now. Because I can take you in my crystal city of light and meld with all of you in my consciousness. And I can take you through the grids because I'm allowed. Because I'm a Blu-ray. Emerald Guardian. And I will take my titles because I've done the work. But if you look, going back at the grids, if you look at the underground, map of the underground, don't look at it, it's a map of the world. And this is where, like, they're just so unaware of this. And that's why it's really important to do the correct ascension pathway, correct grids, so you are in control. Is there anything you want to say? We're just going to sit with this energy, I think, now for everybody. I want you all to ground, obviously, and drink lots of water. And another thing you need to watch is your water. I suggest you get distillers now, because they're all putting kind of, well, you know what they're doing, yeah. And just be really vigilant on your food now, what you're eating. And phones, they're going to be doing the frequencies and music, because they put these satellites up there. Sorry, I know I'm changing the frequency now, that they're going to be working with frequencies now, yeah. So you've got to be all very aware of that. And a good detox would help as well to get some of these heavy metals out of your body.
We're starting to fast today, as directed.
Yeah.
We were told last night that the cells of the body are trying to keep up because of what's happened over the last few days.
Yeah.
We started
Yeah,
today.
well, yeah. Obviously, well, the more like you won't need food, you just want to eat herbs because you carry more light. And I don't hardly eat anything.
The tree's going crazy over here.
Yeah, beautiful. They're lovely. Yeah.
I got a great tree over here. I got a great tree.
Yeah. Cosmic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Just the codes. Beautiful. It's paradise at the moment when you go out in nature. It's just, unfortunately, and you have to go to the shop and stand with the man with the mask on. I just laugh. This is another thing we've all got to do, is just laugh and joke and sing when we go into these environments, and they'll look at you like,
yeah. It's like a cartoon.
Yeah, no.
It really is. I refuse to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask or gloves.
It's like stupid on it. Yeah, it's no. This is what is really important, to just be silly. Yeah. See that.
And then again, there's always the universal God. You know, I mean, the intention of everyone wearing masks is for one thing, but it's actually a good thing for us energetically. Just remember to close our mouth and listen now.
Yeah. Whatever you look, yeah.
Yeah, there's one thing that can't be held back. That's the influence of, what we call nature. We
It's
can't be shut
beautiful.
down from nature. It's just not going to happen.
Well, no, I'm not. At the end of the day, I could just live in a tent.
Mm.
It's really funny looking around. You think, why have I got all this stuff? I don't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, what makes you happy? A tree. I'm just,
Hmm.
with my, with inner earth and all the little buddies, and
Mm.
it's beautiful.
Do you think we'll be seeing the presence of our inner Earth family anytime soon?
Yeah, you will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you've got to work with the expansion, and I mean,
Yeah.
I do initiations. I can take people into inner earth, and I work with Toby and King Christos, and referencely with my oils, they bring the gold,
Mm.
for me in that bit. And that's another thing, like, which was so beautiful, which was a gift I was given the other day, which was amazing, was with the symphonic wisdom. I'm going to be able to do a symphonic lullaby for the children, which is beautiful.
Wow.
Because I put a post out, I think a year and a half ago, about inner earth and Toby and keeping children safe in their dream state,
Yeah.
and then just being able to do that, which is absolutely beautiful.
Far out.
They're safe.
Far out. Well, I'd usually ask you about 5 minutes ago, is there something you want to do for everybody? And
No,
you already did it.
yeah. I know. I was just wanted to do it at the beginning, but
It was
that's it now.
perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect. What a great way to start the day, the broadcasting day.
Mm.
It's perfect. It's interesting too how as the frequency raises, frequency around you raises. It's like everything's working together. It's all connected. No, we lost your voice. Your voice is gone. Can't hear you. Your voice is gone. let your image speak for itself. Yeah. You have a mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it came back.
Oh,
It's
hi.
back.
Yeah.
How
No,
strange is that?
that's what I was saying about frequencies is always through the heart.
Yeah.
Like I showed you, like when you said you had that information,
Mm-hmm.
and then I showed you that it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
correct, and that's very important. But I worked with you, and you could feel that, and I was working with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
But you
Beautiful
need
way
to
to
drink
start the day.
loads of water now.
Yeah.
And look at the moon. The last sun is actually tonight, which is going to be amazing. Yeah. Oh no, you're behind now, aren't you? There, you're. Yeah. But tonight is going to be beautiful.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's gonna be. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. This is a powerful day.
Yeah, it's Christic now, and this is, all the grids are set up through it now, which is beautiful.
Yeah. Powerful day. Thank you, beloved sister Allison. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for the work that you do, you and your friends, quietly, behind the scenes. But there's,
I know, yeah.
this is something people
Yeah,
need to
because
understand.
I have to do what I have to do, but now I can start talking a little bit more because, obviously where I'm based,
Yeah.
a lot of work there, major work there, so that's important. But reference, if my webs aren't still up, by the way, but if people just message me on Ali Algeon if they're interested in anything and that, yeah, she's beautiful.
You guys heard that? Ali Algeon.
Yeah.
Well, her she's tagged in the post, so all you have to do is click the
and then my
name.
Stargate Royal Sophia, my beautiful oils,
Yeah.
which are beautiful. But these are assisting. And another thing, a lot of my clients have taken it to work with the grid work because they carry my frequency and it's carrying the raw law symphonic codes, and it's been amazing because
Raw?
it's Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
bit, yeah. Because
Right on.
I work with being the ancient son actually, and he's going to come through now. Actually, my voice is changing
Oh, okay.
because obviously how far I've gone out. Yeah, because I am a sun goddess. I am the embodiment of Amarisa.
Hmm.
Because I can hold these frequencies now. And this is when I do the work, when I do the grids, I hold the freak. I can't talk now because he's coming in now. It's quite intense. Because I sometimes materialize as a sun in front of my clients when I work with them as well, which is quite phenomenal.
Well, feel free to do that now. That's okay. We'll support that.
Just seeing all the energy around me now. It's bringing the family's consciousness.
Well, I just saw it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just saw it. Just right when I was making a joke and I looked back and I saw it. I actually saw it.
Well, we play it back and we'll just. I want you to connect with your heart to Bing now because you've been cut off for so long. All these ancient grids now have all been open now, deliberately cut off. I mean, frequencies, you haven't seen nothing yet, really. And this is why it's really important to get your body's correct, activations so you can hold this light.
Mm.
And it's not being siphoned, yeah, or shattered like you don't, like this is what I'm going to stipulate now, yeah. The face changes all the while. It's quite, yeah. I mean, that picture, I look like Alexander the Great on the picture I put, on the post, yeah, because I was working with him. He's a blue flame. He's part of the House of Michael, Alexander the Great. All these good work I work with, like Krishna, Lord Siva, Arthur, Aganatum, all of them. Yoshila, obviously I work with Yoshila, Sananda. Lord Metatron, not the Metatron, and Ophid, God Thoth. I work with Theof. He's taught me so much. And it's not the Theof and the Emerald Tablets. He's helped me go back into timelines and clear the DNA distortion. Amazing work. I will get it written one day, but I've just got focus on what I'm doing at the moment because every day there's always something to do. And at the moment it's important. Yeah.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, for all of you, yeah. Bringing in Almighty Absolute now. Bringing in Creator now. All powerful, almighty, all compassionate, all love. The word is Bella. It's not love, it's Bella. It's the last Bella. If you sound Bella, it's like La Cristela, the tones, the higher heart tones. Bella, Bella is the cosmic glue. Just seeing waves of now coming in now around the planet. See, it's softened now. Beautiful energy now. Just going to end on that note now. Shall we end on that note now for everybody?
I think everybody needs to take a few breaths.
Yeah, okay.
Get some water. Get some
Just
water.
Just honor because you'll be clearing later, but just go with it. Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Lots of love then to all of you.
Mm.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
You take care, sweetheart. All right. Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.